Hello, I'm Aidan and you're the listener, and this is Switching to the Future, a lame short podcast mostly focused on the next Nintendo system. Okay, happy Friday, it's the 6th of December 2024 as of the posting and recording of this episode. No opening notes by the looks of things. I thought I had one, never mind. Now let's get to business with the main podcast, before following on with my thoughts on the classic catalogue of Nintendo Switch Online. Hello? Well, okay, let's get started. Big rumours this week. First up, Joy-Cons. Joy-Con design got leaked. They seem to fit in with the rumoured design from October with the bigger side buttons, more curved to the bottom of them, and a button under the home button on the right one. Don't know what to say. I mean, considering it follows on with previous rumours, it might be true. And secondly, sorry, I messed up my words. Cases and screen protectors are already being sold by some Chinese companies, as to which I issue a do not buy warning until the system is fully revealed, just in case these are based off some kind of fake design. From the looks of things though, if this is all true, things might be bigger and better. Or, I mean, it could be worse, because less portable, but... And thirdly, Nate the Hate, or as I like to refer to him as, Nate the Genius or Insider, but accurate and probably not hateful Hate, has released a new podcast episode of his, and it's focused on the Nintendo Switch successor. Couple of highlights. Nate claims Kirby Planet Robobot, the Nintendo 3DS game from 2016, I think, will come to Switch in 2025. He also thinks that 2025 and maybe 2026 will be smaller, lower-budget games for the Switch, mostly. Also, from what he knows, the next generation system is going to be fully backwards compatible with the Switch. Good. And there'll apparently be a major Switch successor event in May 2025 after the console reveal in March or February. That's all the major news. Smaller news. Nintendo Music got Splatoon 2's music this week, including tracks on the DLC pack. Everything was here, including trailer music. Then they took away some tracks for no reason. It was mostly trailer music, but it was on the game's soundtrack CD, so... Why? Also, Nintendo Switch Online got Donkey Kong Land 3 this week, and as I expected last week, and next week it gets Tetris for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. That's coming on the 12th, which is Thursday next week. Okay, that's your news bulletin out of the way. Next up, my opinions on the Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and Game Boy Classic catalogues. See you in a minute. Okay, so this week it's my thoughts on the classic games in Nintendo Switch Online, specifically the base tier. So, Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and Game Boy Color classic games. So, gonna mention my thoughts about the existing ones and then what I think is next with the Switch successor. Okay, so the original NES catalogue, it's nearly complete. I mean, well, so there's most of the Nintendo games you'd expect by now, where earlier this year they added Pinball, Urban Champion, Mock Rider, and Golf, the original. If I'm correct, that is one of Satoru Iwata's first games. Former president of Nintendo, if you don't know. So, quite an important one. I'm honestly surprised they did it though, because apparently they added the game into the Switch's firmware as a good luck charm. That was never supposed to be found, then it was found, so... Maybe because the Switch succeeded? And then, well... It's got the Mario games you'd expect. Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Jr. Math, Warriors Woods, Yoshi, Dr. Mario, Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros 2, Super Mario Bros The Lost Level, Super Mario Bros 3. Yeah, I mean, this is just almost everything's here. I mean, emulation quality is much better than Wii U. Screen ain't dark. I mean, I'm gonna quickly run through the first level of Super Mario Bros right now, and I'll give my thoughts. My Switch is on mute, by the way. I mean, apparently there is serious input lag problems according to some experts. The problems are only really with the Nintendo 64 emulation, though. And whatever this lag is, it's barely recognisable, so... my guess is it's just a bunch of sensationalist rubbish. So, just be level. Got 5,000 points on the flag. Got hit halfway through. So, yeah. Can't really say too much. Nothing to complain about with save states. The special versions of the games. Some are quite good for new players. For example, Zelda, where you get stuff with overpowered tools. Some are convenient. Dr. Mario on high difficulty tier. Some make no sense. Metroid right before the final boss. Or Super Mario Bros. 3, World 8. I mean, I suppose that's good if, you accidentally forget to save, but why? So, yeah, that's the next collection. Japanese games, forgot about them. I mean, you got Mario Bros. Lost Level versus Excite Bike, Ninja Jojo Muwu-kun, Earthbound Beginnings. I'm not even going to try reading that. Mystery Tower, Joy Mick Fight. Oh wait, I recognise that guy. Devil World. I'm not even going to try reading that either. The Mysterious Muasame Castle, underrated game. And The Mystery of Atlantis. Yeah, so a good selection of Japanese-only games. Next up, Super Nintendo. Where my thoughts are more the same, probably because, they've had 5 years to fill up both of these catalogues. I think my only complaint is the lack of manual access. I think that's the major problem. For example, the original Zelda, you'd want a manual. Earthbound, you might want a strategy guide for that. But Super Nintendo, the collection's mostly well done by now. There are special edition games as well, for example, Super Metroid, but right before the final boss again. Or a boss. Super Mario Kart, but with 150cc in the Special Cup unlocked. Mario World with the Autumn theme, that is unlocked by beating the game. Super Punch-Out, but with a completed save file, and yeah. I say the Super Nintendo selection's good. Nothing too major that's missing in my opinion. I mean, actually it's missing a lot of Nintendo's puzzle games that they brought out for the Super Nintendo. That's the only thing that's really missing. Outside of that, and I mean, there's a lot of, quite a lot of Japanese games. I mean, there's Puyo Puyo, Puzzle League, or Panel de Pon, as it's called in Japan. Picross. Apparently Nintendo actually owns the trademark to the word Picross. So, yeah, it's got a variety. Wrecking Crew 98 is also quite an interesting game. But yeah, I don't have much to say about Super Nintendo. Game Boy. I mean, both of those collections started with the Essentials. Game Boy has problems. I mean, it obviously started with Tetris. I mean, you can't do this without Tetris. But then it started with Mario Land 2 without Mario Land 1. And it had Wario Land 3 without having Mario Land 3, Wario Land 1, slash... Well, yeah, you know... And Wario Land 2. Mario Golf and Mario Tennis don't connect to the Nintendo 64 versions. No Super Game Boy enhancements for the games that... Well, for the games that are supposed to be enhanced. For example... Mega Man? No, not Mega Man. Castlevania Legends. I play it in Game Boy Color mode, and I only see 4 colors. Or, say, another Super Game Boy enhanced game, Donkey Kong Land. 4 colors. Also, where was Donkey Kong 1994? Considering Mario vs. Donkey Kong came out earlier this year, would have made a bit of sense considering Mario vs. Donkey Kong is a spiritual successor to it. But, yeah. Missing games, I mean, it feels a bit... And then some games have the European versions, but others don't. I mean, I don't think that matters much for the Game Boy, but it sort of matters for NES and Super NES, considering there are different... Well, especially Super NES, because there are more bigger differences, but... Yeah. So, what do I think is next to the classic catalogue for the Switch successor? More Game Boy, maybe a bit more Super NES, no more special versions of games, as they've seemed to have given up on them anyways. And, yeah. Maybe DS if they find a way to get to work. They could do it handheld mode only. I mean, Nintendo Labo was handheld mode only, so... And there are games that you can't play in handheld mode, so... Possibly. Okay, so next week, when I go on rambling about my thoughts, it'll be second part in the Game Awards. The results. Dun dun dun. Yeah. Well, I'm Aiden. Thank you for bearing with my voice for the last, I don't know how long. Have a good weekend. And don't really have anything to say, so goodbye.